Don't let any of that get on you.
Why not?
It has the characteristics of a symbiote, which needs to bond to a host to survive. And sometimes these things in nature, when they bind, they can be hard to unbind.
Venom, or the symbiote, has many deleted scenes in the film, and each come to demonstrate just how much of a dangerous organism the symbiote is. The creative team wanted the symbiote to feel like a living organism. They made it aggressive and vicious in its movements, no longer moving around like slick sludge or oil, but with tendrils that spread out and pulls itself along like some kind of virus, desperate to latch itself onto anything living, and once it attaches itself, it becomes difficult to remove. In a deleted scene for Spider-Man 3, this idea of the symbiote becoming almost impossible to remove is terrifying. In this scene, Peter looks into a mirror within his apartment and sees a brief flash of his venomized self. Freaked out, Peter attempts to remove the suit, but realizes it's stuck to his body like glue. After minutes of desperately pulling the suit off, Peter is successful and places the symbiote within his briefcase. Now, what exactly was this venomized Spider-Man? Well, I believe it represents what Peter would have become if he kept the suit on for any longer. The symbiote in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man films is an organism that binds to its host and slowly transforms them into a monstrosity. This is not far-fetched, as a similar scenario happened in Ultimate Spider-Man, where when Peter discovered his uncle's killer, he briefly transformed into Venom and almost killed his uncle's murderer. This scene implies that Sam Raimi's symbiote has always intended to take over Peter's body and morph him into a distorted creature. Now, what's interesting is that in the original Comic-Con trailer for Spider-Man 3, the reflection of Venom Peter sees in the mirror is completely different. It's sort of hard to make out, but Venom appears a bit more similar to his comic appearance, with what appears to be a large gaping mouth lunging at the camera. Venom in this shot is hard to see, but you can tell just how horrific he appears, and I can understand why Peter seems completely shook by what he saw. Why is there two different depictions of the symbiote's reflection? Well, that is unclear, but it probably has something to do with the creative team being very unsure on how Venom would look like in the film. This idea of the symbiote attaching and morphing its host is made even more unsettling by this scene in the editor's cut of Spider-Man 3, when Peter opens his briefcase to once again put on the black suit. You can see the suit move up and down, bringing a whole new dimension to the horror of Sam Raimi's version of the symbiote. Based on what happened to Eddie Brock in the original film, we know that the symbiote would have eventually consumed Peter's body, leaving only a distorted and creepy skeleton behind. The only reason Spider-Man was able to resist the symbiote trying to reattach was due to his super strength, but even in this deleted scene where the symbiote tries to take back control, Peter's clearly struggling to hold the symbiote back as it desperately tries to latch on. Oh shoot. Anyways, after Peter disposes of the symbiote's costume and makes its way towards Eddie Brock, just like in the final film, his transformation is a bit different. In this deleted scene, however, Eddie looks animalistic. His anger has reached a boiling point, fueled and amplified by the symbiote. It's as if he's gone feral, and hatred has consumed his very being. You can still see parts of Eddie's skin and parts of the symbiote ooze through his mouth like foam and other substances. it looks less like Venom and more like Eddie Brock has been contorted and twisted into a horrendous form. After the symbiote takes over Eddie's body, memories flood into his mind like a film reel. Everything that Peter has experienced while in the suit is gifted onto Eddie. Using these memories, Eddie tracks down Peter's apartment, searching through his mailbox for his room number and enters it while Peter is taking a shower. He takes note of the red and blue Spider-Man costume and a picture of Mary Jane Watson, explaining why he kidnapped her. Near the end of the film, after Eddie is done looking around, he makes his way out of the apartment. Now potentially, Peter could have noticed Eddie leaving and would confront him outside his apartment. However, since it's very unclear what's going on here, it's hard to say for certain. After this sequence, Eddie would visit Flint Marko at a park. Eddie is here to recruit Sandman to help kill Spider-Man, and unlike the final film, it doesn't seem like he transforms into Venom in this sequence. A version of this scene was included in the Spider-Man 3 tie-in game.